So many of us say we don't have enough time and things like that, right? Whether it's to spend time with family or with your kids or fitness or nutrition. And so sometimes it just takes a little nudge to get that started. And when I talk to your whole team, it's like, well, we don't have a time problem, we have a priority problem, right? And so if we understand those priorities and we set those, and if a priority is to get up in the morning and read your scripture for 10 minutes, and if that helps you, right? Or if your priority is, hey, whenever I finish, I'm going to have intentional time with my kids. It is not a time problem, it's a priority problem. And so once you start having little successes like that, then it starts become meaningful for your family. And all of us love to pour into our family. We got to work and we got to be able to make money, yet we also want to be able to do that so we can provide for our family. And so, and just to compliment you and Ross, it's like there's 60, 70 people there. Literally, after I finished talking, there was probably 25 to 30 that just came up and said, thank you, appreciate what you're saying, because that's the culture that we have. And just this little bit, like you saying, hey, before you start a day, just have your 3 priorities or whatever it is, but then also make sure that when you're at work, be at work, but when you're at home and doing things, be there, right? And just maybe even having somebody else say it outside of you guys saying it is like, okay, this is kind of real, right? I mean, this is what they're telling us, but then you got somebody else who, I've got a lot of gray hair and 40 years of being out in the workforce, and it's like, this is what culture is. And if you have that culture, wow, there can be so many amazing things. And you also have, just like any great team, if you have people that aren't buying into the culture, then the team takes care of that, as opposed to having to come back up in leadership, right? Because everybody wants to be a part of something that's bigger than themselves.
Well, that's why the core values matter. They're the thermostat, not the thermometer in the organization.
Yeah.
Because if everybody's attuned to it and one person comes in that's misaligned that day, the group pulls them in. If they're too hot or too cold, it doesn't matter. The group will settle them because it becomes a thermostat. It's not a thermometer. You don't dip it in to see what's going on today.
Yeah.
It's constant.
Yeah.
And if you I don't care what your business is, if you prioritize people,
sure,
and
you
lean into people and you build the business based off people and you focus on people's abilities and you really care, you can grow to whatever level, because the people have a system that allows them to do it. You can pull out your phone right now and say, hey, Rusty, shoot me a text. You could do it. It didn't take a lot of thought process, because there's a system there that you've been trained to use. That's why the systems matter in a business, right? Core values, mission, alignment, all those things. Give people a basis to operate in a business. They know what's expected. They know what is allowed, and all these things. It gives people the boundaries. People want to be led. They want to be
100%.
led. They want to know what's okay and what's not, what's acceptable, and what's the standard. They want to know. And sometimes you get moving so fast, you forget the little basics, and you have to go back and realign yourself, because those core values don't work in that company if they're not reflective of who you really are.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's blowing smoke if you get up and talk a
Correct.
good game, but you don't live it. So it's fun. It's accountability both ways, right? And I tell people when we're in the interview process, I said, this is a way for us to go back and reflect, because you could lie to us and tell us you align with this. That's why in the first 90 days, we'll know. And it won't be me that pushes you out of this organization. It'll be the peers in this room. But it also gives you the ability to test us for 90 days to see, are we really who we said we were? And it's an accountability metric, right? Because that's what matters most. You talked about gray hair. I didn't have one. I had like 1 or 2 in my beard when we started this company. I used to pluck them out in the morning so I'd still look young.
Yeah.
This is what building a barndominium company will do to you.
I get it. I probably have a lot because I live this with other business owners too, right? I mean, you become part of that family. You see the challenges, you see some of the excitement, but part of what I think as an entrepreneur is like, all right, do we really take time to appreciate what got us here while still trying to get to that next level? Well, whatever that next level is, how does that align with your purpose, right? Because so many families are lost by entrepreneurs doing that. And again, as males, we're driven a lot of times for so much success, and yet that success sometimes becomes a cost to family. And that's one of the things I think becomes devastating too.